But we also have a sincere amount of altruistic interest in shining a very bright light on engineering and computer sciences and programming excellence and really problem-solving excellence, because it gives young students something to shoot for, to aim for. It focuses the world's media's attention on this domain space, and which is healthy for our industry. It's healthy for, frankly, the entire economy and society at large. Because as we were talking about before, there are some very daunting challenges that we all face, and this group of young people has a lot of the raw intellectual capacity that is going to be required to go and tackle some of these issues.
I'll have to check it out sometime.
Please do. Yeah, that'd be great.
Actually, all my audience members right now are thinking, hey, can we do one of those at Lotus Sphere?
Well, I should do some thinking about that.
I would love to do that. We've been talking about doing that kind of competition here for a while, so I think it would be very interesting if we did it in that style.
I want to bring in some of the past champions. You know, there's this wonderful story. You know what this does to some of the students. There's a team of students from Saratov State University, which is in the Volga region of Russia. They get to the World's Finals, and they win the World's Finals. And I'm up there, you know, giving them their prizes and patting them back and congratulating them on behalf of IBM. We give them ThinkPads and give them scholarships and all this kind of stuff. And about 9 or 10 months later, all of them are working at the Zurich Research Facility, IBM Zurich Research, where we've won a number of Nobel Prizes and is arguably the most elite private research facility in the entire world. And it's a long way from, you know,
from the cold depths of Siberia, right?
So just seeing, you know, reaching out and grabbing that raw potential, that raw intelligence from wherever it is in the entire planet, and putting it into a place where you can make a really important difference in the world. I just love stories like that.
That is a great story. So, what does the future hold for you on a personal level? What do you see in the future for Doug Heintzman?
I've always pursued this philosophy of just doing what I'm doing as well as I possibly can and learning as much as I can. And at every turn, someone at some point has kind of come up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, okay, job well done, now it's time to do this. And I kind of say, okay, and go off and do that. So who knows? You know, maybe that will happen. One of the challenges I have personally is that I tend to really immerse myself in whatever I'm doing, and I've never looked for a job in my entire life. And because I get so immersed in it, I'm somewhat oblivious to all the other opportunities around me, and perhaps to my own detriment. But one of the most important pieces of advice my father ever gave me as I was going off to my first day of work, I remember it fondly because the last thing he said to me, he said, as soon as you stop learning, it's time to find a new job. Now, I think that was a very sage piece of advice, and I've been really lucky to be involved, especially in a strategy function, where not learning anymore is, doesn't often happen. So there's no lack of new things to learn, and so because of that, I've just always had immense job satisfaction, and kind of merrily, happily continue doing what I do until I get that tap on the shoulder. There's a few things I think I'd love to try to do. I'm very passionate about some of the Smarter Planet initiatives that we're tackling. I have a deep and sincere interest in a lot of the ecological issues and a lot of those really big problems, and how technology can be brought to bear to go and tackle them. And I feel very fortunate to work for a company like IBM that is one of the few global entities that has the reach and the power and the potential and the skill to make a substantive contribution to solving some of these problems. And in many ways, what I'm doing right now is part of that. I mean, it's absolutely true that there's a tremendous number of social and communication collaboration technologies that go a huge long way to offsetting the consumption of gasoline and you know, reducing emissions of CO2 in the atmosphere. And we've been doing amazing work on optimizing server loads and increasing storage densities in such a way that they don't you know, make large contributions to energy consumption and the like. So we're doing all that work, and that's great. Perhaps at some point in my career, I'd love to get even more involved in really, you know, mapping out how we can make really big differences.
We now come to the part of the program where we ask the questionnaire made famous by Bernard Pivot, which is how James Lipton always says it.
Bernard Pivot.
Yeah. Thank you. Much better than me.
No, de rien.
So, Doug, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word? Innovation.
What's your least favorite word?
Least favorite word? Can't.
What turns you on creatively?
Wow. Probably words. Read a lot. One of the lessons when I was in university, I was a world-class debater and ran around the world and went to many world championships debating, and ideas and words have always a lot of philosophy. I like to read philosophy, and actually believe it or not, my great passion is quantum mechanics and cosmology. I pretty much read everything I can get my hands on.
Wow. That's a long way from international trade law.
It is, but isn't this a wonderful world?
Yes, absolutely. So what turns you off creatively?
Dead cats.
Also known as free cats.
Well, I just remember being at a beach near just south of Barcelona, and walking out onto the beach, and it had been a traumatic travel experience, and I was looking forward to just kind of taking a deep, you know, breath of fresh air and enjoying the sun and the beach, and there was a whole bunch of dead cats on the beach, and it just took me down.
Wow.
So fast.
I would imagine.
And it stuck with me. So just off the top of my head, it's what you get.
What sound or noise do you love?
I love wind and thunderstorms.
I love feeling.
I love being, well, there's slightly two different feelings. The two places I love in the world the most are, one is Georgian Bay in the Canadian Shield and Lake Huron, and they have the most beautiful thunderstorms that roll in the late summer, and I can just sit there for hours watching and listening. And the others is the top of a mountain in the Alps, just looking at these vast expanses, and the wind and the sound of the wind as it's moving by you.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, ambulance sirens.
That's a good one. What's your favorite curse word?
SharePoint.
What profession other than your own? Yeah, mine too. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, now? So I asked myself if I wasn't doing what I do. I love what I do, obviously. I wasn't doing what I do and I could rewind the tape a little bit. I would love to be a physicist at CERN working on the Large Hadron Collider.
Not worried about micro black holes?
No, not at all. And if you have another few hours, I can tell you why.
I might take you up on that
If
later.
they discover Hawking radiation, Stephen may actually get the Nobel Prize. So we'll see.
And what profession would you not like to attempt?
Coroner.
Me neither. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say at the pearly gates?
I think I'd like to hear a job well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you don't stop. Yeah.